There's a lot of really weird, lonely, insecure men out there. The fact that a pop star, the world's biggest pop star, is dating a star tight end who had one of his greatest games ever, and a network puts them on the air briefly, that it bothers you, what does that say about your life? Judge people sometimes on the silly stuff that bothers them. It'll tell you a lot about them. When I hear this whole thing about Taylor Swift, I just want to watch football. Liar, you're lying. That's not true. A football telecast is not just football. In fact, the commercials for 4 hours before the Super Bowl will be widely watched. Did you know statistically in a 3.5-hour NFL playoff broadcast or regular season broadcast, just 18 minutes are actual football? And we have the data, we have the numbers. You don't turn away. There's coaches cutaways. They show fans in Buffalo on fire, commercials, reviews, 18 minutes of real football. For the record, about the length of 5 Taylor Swift songs. Listen to this. The New York Times measured how long she was actually on the broadcast. Do you know how long it is on average? 25 seconds in 3.5 hours. Against the Ravens, it was up to a whopping 32 seconds. It was 14 Chiefs and Raiders on Christmas, 12 Chiefs and Bengals, 24 seconds, Buffalo, Kansas City. She was on for a minute against the Dolphins, but it was an absolutely awful broadcast. They should have had a concert in the middle of it. That would have been more interesting. And why wouldn't CBS, which you know has the Grammys, cross-promote the world's biggest pop star? Hey, listen, I worked at the other network. I work at Fox. I've seen us jam people on TV shows I would never watch during football games and sporting events. Don't forget to watch this right after the game. I've already forgot about it. Let's get back to the game. But I don't have to rush to social media. I'm okay with it. Here's the other thing that strikes me. Matthew McConaughey. All right. Love him. Drake on everything. Spike Lee, Knicks games. Eminem, Michigan sporting events. We celebrate it. 80s, 90s, Jack Nicholson Laker games is cool. Saw Jack. But a talented and beautiful woman is on the air, one who would never pay attention to lonely men, and it bothers them. There's a stat out there, it's kind of uncomfortable for you sad guys, that 50% of men never have real intimacy with a woman. That means the other 50% have multiple intimate relationships with women. And those ones that don't are angry and sad and lonely, and they are often misogynistic and resent women who didn't give them the time they think they deserve. We celebrate all these goofballs jumping on tables in Buffalo and cheese hats and men and Matthew McConaughey and Drake and Jack Nicholson, men and Eminem, and it's cool, and can I get a selfie, and I can't believe I saw. And a young, attractive, beautiful, talented woman comes on for 25 seconds. And you're bothered. Again, judge people by the silly things that bother them. This says nothing, this anger. This says nothing about Taylor Swift. It says everything about the men bothered by it.
That was Colin Cowherd, host of The Herd with Colin Cowherd, probably making a lot of angry men out there feel very small today. And look, I've covered this whole Taylor Swift story a lot on this channel, so I don't mean to belabor points that I've made before, but I will say this. We are witnessing a full-scale panic on the right at the prospect of Taylor Swift encouraging her fans to participate in the political process. That's all she's done. Now, my question for these right-wing media hosts is this. Instead of issuing vague threats to Taylor Swift, instead of lecturing her about how many people she'll alienate, instead of promising retribution, instead of warning her about the impacts to her career and her finances, have you considered, and I hope you're sitting down for this, having better policies? I know, a novel idea, but if Republicans' entire platform wasn't predicated on ending democracy and stripping women of their reproductive rights and pretending climate change wasn't real and coddling fossil fuel companies and handing massive tax cuts to millionaires and billionaires, then maybe they wouldn't face opposition by popular musicians. So instead of starting a holy war against this 34-year-old pop star, maybe, just maybe, the conservatives should consider looking inward and admit, I'm the problem, it's me. Do I immediately regret using a Taylor Swift lyric? Yes, I do. Now, as far as Taylor's activism is concerned, I'm sorry, but I refuse to take seriously people who claim that she should keep her mouth shut and sing while we have to sit through political analysis from Kid Rock, from Russell Brand, from Scott Baio, from Clint Eastwood, from Roseanne. Notice how these conservative hosts are totally fine if a conservative artist or actor or musician has something political to say, but when it's someone who's not a raving right-wing sycophant, suddenly these devout capitalists turn into the Chinese Communist Party and start looking to censor speech. Ironic, huh? Consider too, yes, Taylor came out in favor of Joe Biden in 2020, but that was the last partisan word that she's uttered. You know what she did most recently? She posted a nonpartisan appeal for people to register to vote. That's it. Not go vote for Joe Biden and the Democratic Party down the ballot, just a link to vote.org. In September of 2023, in honor of National Voter Registration Day, she posted on Instagram, "I've been so lucky to see so many of you guys at my US shows recently. I've heard you raise your voices and I know how powerful they are. Make sure you're ready to use them in our elections this year." And she included a link to register at a nonpartisan registration site, vote.org. You would think that she posted a call to arms to abolish the GOP. These people are losing their skulls over one American encouraging other Americans to exercise their most fundamental right as Americans. Of course, what they're afraid of is that Taylor has a lot of fans, and while the right has its own influencers, and that's totally acceptable, it's apparently not acceptable for the left to have its own influencers. But that post by Taylor helped facilitate what ultimately amounted to over 35,000 registrations, the most since 2020 and a 23% jump over last year. The number of 18-year-olds registered was more than double 2022. Vote.org reported a 1,226% jump in participation in the hour after her post, averaging 13,000 users every 30 minutes. At least 157,000 eligible voters visited the registration site in that one day, including a 115% increase in 18-year-old registrations. Here's what I'd say. If Republicans want musicians and actors and other influential pop culture figures to advocate for them, get better policies. Again, this is not the fault of musicians for not supporting an unsupportable party. It is the fault of that party for not doing more, or doing anything, to win over more votes. The Republican Party is not interested in good policy. It's not interested in popular policy. It's not interested in winning over more voters. The Republican Party is only interested in consolidating power for themselves, all the while trying to destroy anyone who stands in their way. The problem for them is that Taylor Swift wields a hell of a lot more power than they do, and clearly, that scares them to no end. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to the channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.